great seeing you guys. And thank you all for a wonderful, wonderful weekend at Chiller Theatre Expo. The Zoom reunion was just, I couldn't have asked for better. It was a dream come true for me.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, maybe you can tell people what it was, what is Chiller Theatre, and how did you get into all of this?
Okay, Chiller Theatre started a little over 30 years ago in New Jersey, and it's run by a man named Kevin Clemens, and he started it back then as a horror convention. That's why it's called Chiller Theatre Expo. But over the years, he's developed it into pretty much a who's who of television and movies and all of your favorites. So I started off by first getting in around the horror time. I managed Bobby Boris Pickett, who did the song Monster Mash, a Somerville boy. And I brought him there. And when I called up Kevin with him and I said, how would you like to have Bobby Pickett? He said, well, yeah, but we always have Zachary here, John Zachary, who was a DJ, but also a recording artist that did monster novelty records. And he covered Monster Mash, and it got out bigger than Bobby's at first. And then Bobby's came out, and the rest is history. But Kevin said, I want to get the both of them on stage together to sing Monster Mash. And that happened in the first time that I was at Chiller, which was 17 years ago. And when I once approached Zachary, that I was the manager of Bobby Pickett, he said, well, I always tell people that my version of Monster Mash is me doing an imitation of Bobby Boris Pickett, doing an imitation of Boris Karloff.
That's great.
So, when Bobby passed, then I needed to get some more guests that would be kind of like the same vibe. So to me, it was at that time it was monsters and kid stuff, which is what I thought Monster Mash represented. And so I brought in Ray Parker Jr., who did Ghostbusters, and another Massachusetts guy, Frank Avrush, who was the first Bozo the Clown, first nationally syndicated Bozo the Clown. And over the years, I've done reunions, like the Love Boat cast, Perfect Strangers, just a lot of fun times, bringing in people that bring back the good times to people. And that's really what I'm about with this thing.
You also have a really special team around you. One, Abe Vicoda's daughter.
Oh, yeah, sure. Carol Vigoda is just a fantastic person, a great friend. When Abe was 94 years old, a friend of mine ran into him in a restaurant in New York City, and he said, "Could I have your information? My friend might want you to come to a convention." He said, "Well, here's Abe's daughter's number." So I called her up, and she had been called by everybody, and her first thing was like, "He's too old. He's not going to do this convention the whole weekend." So I brainstormed and I had this idea. I said, he lives in the city. I said, let's just send a limo for him and we'll bring him there. We'll put him into the professional photo room with a couch. He'll sit on the end of the couch, and one by one, everybody sits on the other end of the couch. They take their pictures and he goes home. And this way Chiller could have him as a guest. Well, she okayed that. And he came in, he sat on the end of the couch. I said to her all along, I said, do you think he'll do more than one day? She says, I don't know. He said he really only wants to do one day. And he sat there, and by the third person that sat down after they left, he looked up and he went, next, come in. And he had this all down, and he loved it. And it went by so fast that he turns to Carol and he goes, this is great. Can we come back tomorrow? And she goes, no. Because you only wanted to do Saturday. And
that
so God
like
bless
Carol.
him. He came. Yeah. He came. That's when he was 92. And then he came back 2 years later at 94 was his last public appearance. Yeah. And God bless him. He was just wonderful.
Great story.
So Carol became a longtime friend, a very, very good friend. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I can see how it happens with us just having our first weekend with you. This weekend, I'm like, oh my God, he's family, and Angela is like, oh, they're family, and it's like, yeah, it was really There was a lot of
Thank you.
oxytocin going around. Right, Dr.
Nice.
Joe?
That's right. The biological domain was kicking. Definitely, definitely. Um, it was a fascinating experience.
I would have.
But I'd never heard of anything like this before. Stuart, how did you first hear about these sort of things?
I had actually attended some of these things. You know, I was one of those guys that came to one of these events, going, "Oh wow, so and so is there. I want to go meet them. I want to get an autograph from them or take a picture with them." I love the concept of these conventions. First of all, Kevin runs Chiller, unlike a lot of other conventions. He runs Chiller. Um, I asked him once, I said, "Why do you do this?" And he said, "Because it brings back the good times to people. It brings back the happy times to people." And that's really the best reason to be doing one of these conventions. The concept of having celebrities at a convention to do autographs and pictures is a great concept. Some celebrities along the way have been like, "Oh, I don't want to sell my autograph." But the bottom line is, rather than bother a celebrity in a restaurant or a men's room, you know, you see them advertised at a convention. You know they're going to be there. It's systematic. You know you're going to get your autograph and you're going to get your photo with them, and everybody comes out, you know, good as the result. So it's kind of like you walk in and it's a celebrity flea market. You know, there they are, and you go up to them
It's
and
true.
you get a chance to meet your heroes. You know, I always tell people it's like having that TV show that you loved and now you can climb inside the set.
Yeah, it was
Mhm.
wild. It was wild.
We had one person in particular came up, and we hear a lot of stories from people who did not grow up in the Boston area that
Mhm.
told stories of, "Oh, and I begged my mother, move us to Boston so I can be on Zoom." So one in particular I'm thinking of, we kind of said, "Well, come on, get a picture with us. You're an honorary Zoomer now. You can tell your mom you
Aw.
finally made it."
Yeah,
And
yeah.
That's so
it was
sweet.
kind of a
That
neat
was
thing
so
to be able
sweet
to,
of us.
it's it's kind of a neat thing to be able to do that for people.
Mhm.
Really, really is.
It's so true.
Absolutely.
And one of the other neat things that we can do for people is to also give our sponsors a chance to talk about their product and their voice. So we'll take a commercial break and we'll be right back with the Dr. Joe Show. Larry, you're up. So I just want to let the audience understand what we're talking about here. The Zoom kids were invited by Stuart Hersh to go to basically a nostalgia conference where there were hundreds and hundreds of celebrities. I
Chiller
myself
Theatre
never,
Expo.
yeah, have never considered myself a celebrity. And yet that seemed to be what we were seen as. But there was even more. We were part of these people's childhood, which was remarkable.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Um, and Stuart, has that been your experience with just
Uh,
fans in general, with all sorts of?
yeah. It's, you know, it's funny. I brought in, like I said, I brought in Frank Avrush, who was the first Bozo the Clown, you know, and this was like Zoom was, Bozo was. There were kids, I could say for myself, I was 5 years old. Bozo was my first friend
Mhm.
before I even had probably a real friend in life.
Mm,
It was watching Bozo. There were kids, probably a lot of latchkey kids that were just, you know,
so sweet.
that Zoom were their friends.
Mm.
And the interesting thing is, you know, speaking of the children's part of it, I used to bring out Carol Spinney, who did Big Bird, and people would come up to
Okay.
Carol at the table, and they would start to cry talking to him and
Yeah.
hearing him do that voice. And
Yeah.
then the first time I worked with Jerry Mathers, who was the Beaver, Leave It to Beaver, I told him this story and I said, people started to cry when they came up to Carol. Do they do that with you? And he said, nope, they come up like they're my buddy, like they're my friend. And that's
nice.
how they approached you
Yeah.
guys, you
Yeah.
know?
Very true.
Sesame Street was amazing, just on so many levels. And wow. Also, we had Big Bird at the Chiller Theatre
It's
Expo.
true.
I got some great photos.
Yeah, the
Doing
costume, yes.
Dr. Joe, you and I have a couple good ones too.
That's right.
I have some good ones with Melissa Gilbert, which was like an honor to hang out with her. She and her husband. They're great people. Wow.
Maura, you
You
got a
had
story
the-
about that, right?
You were touching on that, Joe, and that's this idea that I think we all agree on, that we never thought of ourselves, even now, as celebrities. I mean, we were kids on a show, and it was a different era. It wasn't that kind of cult of personality kind of world that we live in now. I mean, we weren't encouraged to be or act like child stars. It was discouraged. So meeting some of the celebrities at this Chiller convention who were starstruck to meet us was just, the only thing I can say is it was mind blowing.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
absolutely mind blowing.
Yeah.
And
I
Melissa
have to
Gilbert
beg-
came
I
back
beg
like-
to differ. I'm sorry if I may, just as a Zoomer. Because like I went to NYU drama school and I pursued the arts, and it wasn't like I never got to the place where I was a celebrity, but it was, I don't know, it was just really an honor to meet the people who are, they were just such good people, and yeah, it was, it's pretty cool just to see how incredibly human and kind and generous that, you know, celebrities and past celebrities are. So, sorry
Oh,
to
yeah.
interrupt.
No. I just Melissa Gilbert came back like 3-4 times to hang with you guys. She brought her
Yeah,
dog
she did.
over for you
A
guys
beautiful
to see her,
dog,
her puppy.
Chicago.
Yeah, she,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
They're
that
amazing.
was-
And what did she say? Did she say to you guys that you guys influenced her want
She said it
to
was
be an
because
actor?
of this she got into entertainment.
See,
And the
that's
next
how-
year
that
when
is-
she got in Little House on the Prairie, I think it was 74. So, you know, we
That's
were
awesome.
Just a little after the Zoom time, yeah.
yeah.
So you were her influence
Yes.
to pursue what she was doing. That's amazing. That
Yeah.
must make you guys feel so good.
It so did. It felt
Crazy,
Great. It felt
really
great.
crazy.
It was.
It was the
to
same
her-
with Mindy Cohen. She came over all like,
Mhm.
you know, like Zoom people, and it was just like, we're like, who, what, us? It's just
Yeah.
kind of really very humbling.
Well, it was, you know, when I first called up Kevin and I said, what about a Zoom reunion? He goes, we're gonna Zoom. He said, oh, great. I can't get that out of my head now. He says, let's do this.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, just think of something else. Think of something else.
Yeah.
And I want our listeners to realize that this was 50 years ago. Zoom was 1972 was the first show.
Right?
Mhm.
And half a century later, people come up to us and are grateful that we were there for them in their living room
Yes.
every day, just hanging out as friends. And that's part of what
Yeah.
Zoom was we were just friends. There was no glitz or glitch or anything like that was like fancy. We were just kids being kids. And it laid this foundation of respect and value and trust. And that's what the Zoom kids were about.
We felt very valued. Can I say what was my favorite thing in the weekend if I had to like take, and I have so many, like we could even play the game of what do you like go around 10 times,
Right.
but my favorite was the Zoom adults, Zoom kids on Saturday night at 10 o'clock singing the Zoom theme song to a heavy metal band. Or
Yeah,
whatever.
tell us
was
about that,
crazy.
Donna.
And
Right,
it
That
tell-
was
was
crazy.
like that's the perfect, that is such a great treatment for the show. If we were ever to find any relevancy now, you know, like I want to put out a production of heavy metal production of that, the theme.
That
song.
was
That was
awesome.
crazy. I thought it
That
was
was
great.
awesome.
Yeah. How
The
about you,
look on
Maura?
the-
What was your favorite?
Oh, I think it'd be hard to top that. That was amazing. But I, you know, in a general sense, it's kind of what we've already touched on. When people have driven a long way to come and meet us and come up with these just beautiful stories and memories for a show that has not been on in reruns. There are very few clips on even on YouTube nowadays. humbling, heartwarming. What an honor. And I just wanted to make sure, from a personal point, that I was very, that I could actually really connect for a little bit with these folks and give
I
them
think
my
you did.
attention and really, make it a personalized experience.
Yeah, I think we did. Yeah. How about you,
Oh,
Dr.
yeah.
Stowe? Oh, sorry. What was your favorite experience? If you had one, if you could just even say one.
I think that, there was a moment where this man comes up, his name was Mike, and he's getting teary. He's
Mhm.
actually getting teary. And I said, what's going on? He says, no, I'm just an emotional person. I said, but, look, for God's sakes, I'm a psychiatrist. I see somebody getting teary. I'm going to ask them what's going on.
Sure.
Yeah.
We were part of his family.
Yeah.
We had an
Yeah.
influence on him. He became, I think, the head animator for DC Comics, for Batman, Superman, all
right.
these things,
Wow,
and
congratulations.
brought his life of Zoom in there.
Mm,
So and he was getting really choked up.
yeah, that's
And
beautiful.
that was the part that was just really remarkable to me. That the I am approach, as you guys know, basically is saying that because everyone's interested in what you think or feel about them, we all want the same thing, which is to feel valued. We want to feel valuable. And without doing anything, just by being on Zoom, these people connected with us. And I think that
Yeah.
made them feel valuable.
But Joe, it's not like you weren't doing anything. You guys were amazing. You guys kept the show it was fun, it was moving, it was funny, it
We have
was
to thank
musical.
Leon. We have to thank Leon for putting us
Wait,
on every 15 minutes singing the Zoom song.
One sec. Stuart, were you talking about the weekend or 50 years ago? Or both?
No, I'm talking about both.
Yeah.
I'm talking about both. You guys went in and did something in a studio that people, kids each day would go and they would look for it. It was, it was part of their daily routine was to watch you guys
Yeah.
and to learn to speak ubby-dubby.
Rabbi. That was Tribu.
That's one thing. We did have an ubby-dubby conversation with Melissa Gilbert, so that's pretty
That's
wild.
incredible.
Yeah, that was
That's
really
incredible.
Yabba Sabbit Wabas.
Yes.
Can I be really, I want to be really authentic, and there's a compliment at the end, so I'm not just but I want to admit that it took me a couple of years, because luckily, and thank you, Maura, and thank you, Stuart, for talking to Maura and talking her into it and stuff, and being the entree to it. But I think I was a little judgy because I'd never been to one of these Comic-Con things. And then after having been a child on television and then having been judged by it or whatever, I don't know. I'm just saying it was, I just didn't understand it. And then Joe and I get there Thursday night and then we start at 5 o'clock on Friday. And I just,
5 o'clock in the afternoon, folks. 5 o'clock in the aftoon, not 5 o'clock in the morning.
That's
Just want to clarify.
That's
The
right.
one thing I noticed about everyone was just how kind they are. But I have to admit, I was kind of like, I don't know, there was a little separation between, I was just like, I'm like, okay, there's kind of, misfits, or that's what I thought. And then I have to tell you, within 15 minutes, all of a sudden I'm like, I am a misfit. Like I went through the whole Chiller universe. You know how they call it the Marvel universe? Like once you get in, like boom, bang, bang.
Yeah.
I swear something happened. It was more like 2 hours, I have to admit, but there was so much kindness and generosity with everyone and being so joyful and oxytocin. But then something happened where I don't know. And this is right before Melissa Gilbert and then the other people and stuff. But all of a sudden I went to a different universe. I admit it, guys, I do. And all of
Well,
a sudden, I like had the best time. It felt like heaven on earth. It was so much fun.
Yeah.
I met the
That's
best
awesome.
people.
Stuart, did you want to add
That
something to that?
Yeah, I just it's funny in putting this together, I first called Maura and said, is this possible? Can you call
Yeah.
this one, or that you think that one would do it? And she, I mean, God bless her, she came through and really, was the go-to for me to get this going. And then Joe, you added to it and said, I'll call this one, that one.
That's
And
right.
Great.
but along the way, then my mind starts to turn and I go, okay, so they're all going to be there. And I go online and I'm looking and looking and looking, and I find the striped shirts, the rugby
Yeah.
shirts. And
Yeah.
I'm like, I had to get them in the right color and the right everything. And then I had to get the courage to say, would you guys mind putting those on for this?
Yeah.
And I will tell you that when I saw you guys first come down in those shirts, you guys all looked at each other like, oh my God, like it seemed like you were so impressed with each other. One, I forgot who it was, but one turned to the other and said, you haven't aged at all. There you are in
It
those
felt
shirts.
great. It was so much fun. I just realized though, those were men's shirts. So I'm wondering. So when we do another show in July, which we'll talk about, I think I'm gonna have to do a little sewing of mine. So
Yeah,
I
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
But were they when you had the shirts on in the original show, were they just a set line of straight shirts? They looked to me like they were, unisex.
Yeah, but we were
They
kids.
were, but our
The same
bodies were all
size,
the
like a
same size.
A men's small is like a woman's
That's
large.
right.
Oh,
They all look the same. But
We
you
didn't have
did.
such
You
problems.
found the product. You got us in touch with it, and that's what it's
Yeah.
really all about. It is the product as well. And
And-
I am
Yeah.
delighted that I have sponsors who have remarkable products.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Also, we'll share them with you. So we're going
What
to
a
zoom
segue.
into those commercial break. Larry, let's take it away. We'll be right back with the Dr. Joe Show. Just think about what this means. What is nostalgia? What is the attraction of this? Because it was a remarkable experience. And as my colleagues were saying, it felt like a family. It felt like a welcoming group of people who all were there just to enjoy memories, no matter what was happening in their world right now.
Right.
This was a place they could go. It's not about escaping. It's
No.
about remembering and reliving.
Well, I got the feeling because I had the honor, and I was admitting about like just being judging, not about people, but about the event. So no disrespect at all to anyone, but in meeting, there were people like they have become family after coming for 30 years to the Chiller event, and now they have the little kids have kids, and like it's just this. There was so much like love and respect and kindness and generosity and empathy, which was also like what we had with Zoom, and it didn't matter, like it's just like, just be you kind of thing. And but be kind, be you, and have fun. And
I wanted to let our listeners know though that some of these folks must have spent hours getting in their own costumes with their own makeup.
Great costumes.
I mean,
Oh,
it was
yeah.
amazing. A little girl who looked like, was like Loki, but her dad was one of the people from Star Wars. I mean, they were into it.
It's so cool. When I bring a celebrity out to Chiller, I go, well, it's called Chiller. They go, well, what is it like? I go, well, it's really, the people are really, really nice, but they may walk up to you with cat eyes and a hatchet in their head.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, that was great.
And
What about the
they
guy who
did.
had like the
And they
baby on his face or something?
Yes.
Yeah, the
yes.
guy with that thing with the eye. Yeah.
Oh my God, that was amazing. Yeah.
It was truly
You know,
remarkable.
There
talked
was
about-
someone, if I may.
One sec, Don, hold on.
Oh,
I'm just
sure.
going to, there's more because she's about to start. Maura?
No, I was just going to say, you were touching on what is it about nostalgia, and I think in our particular case with Zoom and people that were young in the 60s and 70s, we were, I've said this many times, I feel very strongly about it. We were the last generation of kids who could really just be innocent and just be kids. And we weren't inundated with technology, and we didn't have video games, and we didn't have, the VCR or cell phones or, smartphones or anything. So
Right.
in some ways, I think that the nostalgia is for, that longing for that kind of simpler, more innocent time. And maybe there's something in the connections that we made through that show all those years ago that brings people back to that sense of it's okay, and we can still make authentic connections to people, and that simple good parts of life are still there inside all of us. We just have to find how to plug into it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I just like many of the people who loved us also loved, some other celebrities, especially like our favorite Walter Brightsky, who was very happy, about getting Mickey Dolenz signature and, but there's just, it's a generosity of spirit. That's the thing that I loved so much. I was telling Joe, I have to admit, we stopped for dinner and before we drove back to Massachusetts, and I started crying tears of joy, but I was like, I said, I felt seen this weekend. And usually I see people, but I don't always feel seen. And you just sort of go about, make the best of everything, but best situation. But it was like, I don't know, there was something really, quite beautiful and quite, it was just such a great time. It's sort of it's been 4 days since we've gotten back, and it's kind of like, okay, every day you got to downshift a little bit more to like go back into reality,
That's true.
I imagine that must be what Burning Man is like, which I've never been to, or, something else, or,
there's this is being studied in some ways as well. So an article came out in 2021 in the journal Emotions entitled "Nostalgia Promotes Help Seeking by Fostering Social Connectedness." So what does that really mean? That, again, when you feel that you have a group that you connect with, you can ask them, you can be part of this. This is really an important part of what I think we experienced. It just felt like these people who were strangers to us. One of my phrases, every friend was once a stranger.
Right, they started as strangers.
Yes, but in a very short amount of time, there was this commonality. It wasn't that we were being like idolized, like, oh my God, it's Joe. It was that they genuinely liked us.
Joe, in my just being, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, please, you're talking,
Oh,
please.
And just from my point of view, being on the outside of Zoom, I watched Zoom and saw a group of friends. And I think when these people meet you guys, they want to be a friend too.
And they are.
They want to join and be one of your friends. And that's why they come up that way. And that's why you guys hit them that way, because they've watched
We didn't actually hit anyone, folks. We didn't actually hit them.
But everyone
we certainly had an impact on them.
But
Go on, Stuart.
It almost
my
felt
slang,
like,
I'm sorry.
It almost felt a little bit for those who came to, have signed autographs and then take pictures, and who we were just so generous and kind. I just have to say, it was like, it was so beautiful. Like the people, I don't know, it was really a blessing for me. I really appreciate the weekend, and I was so happy to, have been there, and I met some great people. I think I have 5 new best friends, and 2 are guys and 3 are women. And so I'm like, okay.
And just so people understand that, there we are signing autographs for complete strangers who didn't feel like strangers within a moment.
Not at
They were
all.
like, you
Right.
are our best friend. And
Well,
the
Right.
fact that they wanted something, this idea that now there is a concrete product that they have, a signature on a picture of them
Yeah.
and us. It's a powerful, powerful thing, you know.
I,
So they get their cell phone and somebody takes a picture. Now that is now another part of their life. It's now on their phone, and you know what our phones are like. But you know, get back to
Yeah.
Moore. She's absolutely right. We didn't have this tech before. We didn't have that. And remember, 1972, when Zoom was starting, the world was in its own state of chaos. We are still
That's
in
true.
chaos 50 years later.
more than
Mhm.
ever tonight.
Busing was happening, busing, you know, the civil rights movement. Um, and there are a group of kids, African American, white, Asian, Hispanic,
Mhm.
boys, girls, it didn't matter. We
Right.
became a group
Yep.
because we respected each other, we valued each other, and we trusted. And that's why those Zoom wraps were all about trust. I
Yeah.
Yeah.
mean, this was spontaneous. Stuff happened,
That's
and
what
we
I
just
saw.
spoke about
That's
it.
what I got out of it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And you
Yeah,
know, the
it's-
thing about the friendships, it's true. There was no, in the casts that I worked with, there was no
Look, Clint is
drama.
calling me.
Mhm.
Kenny,
Ah,
there was no
oh, cool.
drama, there was no infighting or, this one didn't like that one. It was really, we just were all together despite there was a bit of a spread in ages and different backgrounds, but none of it mattered.
Right.
Mhm.
Legitimately, didn't matter.
It really didn't. And that, folks, that was not, you know, faked. That was what we represented. We were just hanging out together.
Yeah.
It was a powerful time in my life because my parents were going through divorce, and there was a lot of angst, there was a lot of sadness, there was a lot of anger, and then there was this world of just simple friendship.
Mhm.
It
Right.
was powerful. It was powerful.
You know, it's funny I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go on.
When Hal Roach did the Little Rascals, put the Little Rascals together,
Mhm.
he said a mother would bring her daughter in and she would do a tap dance, and he'd go, I don't want this. And the next one would come in and audition. And then he said he found himself eating lunch and looking out the window at some kids playing outside. And he said before he knew it, a half hour had gone by. And he said, this is what I want. And he put together a group of kids like that were more real kids. And that's what I think Zoom went on to do. Take that same realness of kids interacting as friends and bring them to the public, to other kids.
Yeah,
I agree.
and that's what we did.
I think,
You know,
yeah.
we bring the public to other kids, and what's great about the Dr. Joe show is we can bring our sponsors to everyone. So with that in mind, we will take a commercial break. We'll be right back with the Dr. Joe show. Larry, it's all you. And we are back with the Dr. Joe show with Kenny deciding to talk right over everything because he doesn't know any better. But it's nice to have him here.
Because that's what I
For
do.
those of
because
you
that's
who
what
don't
I
know,
do.
Kenny has
Anyway,
just joined us. He is still in New
Yeah.
Jersey for various reasons. We're not exactly sure why.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
see me
Kenny,
now?
welcome.
Yes.
Welcome to the Dr.
Thank
Joe show. How have you been, Kenny?
Pleasure to be here. Pleasure to be here. Can you hear me now? And good, because I can see myself.
Yeah,
He's
we
speaking
can.
WW, everybody.
Yeah.
Oh, no,
Kenny,
no. See,
We've been
stop.
talking. We've been
Stop
talking
cutting
about the
me.
experience.
But
What was Kenny? What was the experience
yeah,
like for you?
yeah.
What was the experience like for you
Well,
being at
but
this
he's
nostalgia
been through a
conference, the
lot,
Chiller Expo?
you know.
Yeah, it's okay. But it was, for me, it was a serious roller coaster. But the high side was the biggest thing that I got out of it is like, we were just kids. Never knew I was a celebrity. That's the
Right.
biggest thing.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
Maura was saying.
And and to meet a lot of celebrities. And I, being the crazy person I am, I challenged Larry Holmes and Jerry Cooney to fight me in the
Yes, he did.
parking lot.
Yes, he did.
I did until Jerry Cooney stood up. I was like, "Oh, hey, man, I was just kidding. I was just kidding."
True.
No.
True
And
story.
then
I was there.
no, true story. I'm not true story. And then he shook my hand. And I was like, "Oh my goodness!" Then he hugged me. I was like, I can't breathe, man. Let me go. Let me go. Oh man, this is the most awesome experience in my life. And then the other thing I would tell you is the sky's the limit right now for us.
Aw,
Yeah, with that in
Yeah.
mind, Stuart, do you want to tell people about the next place that the Zoom kids will show up?
Yeah, well, it's going to be July 1st, 2nd, and 3rd in Boxborough, Massachusetts, at the Northeast Comic-Con. And it's going to be a really, really incredible Zoom reunion because we're going to have a couple of extra people in there adding on to the fun. And
True.
Joe, do you want to?
No, go ahead, Stuart. Who do you know of so far? This
some
is
very popular.
Stuart. You are
very popular
our
Zoomers.
manager right now. So who do you know so far is coming in?
Well, you guys are coming in, correct?
Yep,
We will
we'll
be there.
No,
Okay.
I'm not coming. I'm
5 of
sorry. I
us.
don't like.
we're very glad Kenny's not coming. This
5
is his
of
sense of
us.
humor. It
No.
doesn't work on the air.
It's only
Go
40
ahead.
years from me.
Go
It's
ahead,
only
Stuart.
40
I
years from
have
me. I
heard
Who's
can't do
coming?
that.
Okay.
I
And,
have heard
and
rumors to it.
the rumor seems to be true. Joe validated this with me. And
So did I.
whenever I say Zoom to people, they go, "Oh, is Bernadette gonna be there?
Exactly.
The girl that does the
Mhm.
arms?" And
Mhm.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes,
So incredible.
Joe
Arm
confirmed.
thing.
Yes,
Mhm.
he's the most
Joe has
popular.
confirmed that Bernadette will
Zoomer.
be there.
Mhm.
And um,
Mhm.
She's
Kenny
also a
also
healer
spoke.
and will be so nice to people. Like she's just going to be such an added benefit of the whole
I
kind of
can't do
love
that thing. I'm
thing.
gonna break my arms if I do what she did, during the show. So I don't
She's
want to do that. It's not gonna be a good look.
There
So
was a lot.
brilliant
Bernadette
No,
should
there
be
was.
woman.
there.
You're gonna
Who
love
else,
to meet her.
Stuart? Who
And
else should be
she's
there?
another beautiful Zoomer who was so popular and so adorable and still is.
Nancy will be there too.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes, I talked to Nancy. We had a good conversation earlier today. I said, "Hey," and I told her about what we just did, and
Yeah.
she said, "Okay." She said, "Let me talk to my husband." Her husband was like excited. I said, "Okay, we need to do this thing
Excellent.
in July." So yes,
Excellent. So
Nancy's gonna
yeah,
be
so
there.
we're gonna have what we had this time. It's going to be not only bigger, it's going to be right there in Massachusetts where it all
Right.
began.
Right, right,
Yes.
And
A real
and it should be
homecoming.
very, very exciting.
So Stuart,
right.
is there a website or something that people can go? Do they need to sign up for this? Do they need to buy tickets? How do they actually
Um,
access it?
the website to the Northeast Comic Con I do not have on me right now.
Okay.
I don't know if it's as easy as necomiccon.com. It could be. If somebody who's got a computer in front of them can double check this.
Hang on, I'm
Okay, we
trying to
will
find a
look it up.
for.
I'm just going to show
Yeah,
you.
we'll figure it out.
This is what
There
it
you
looks
go.
like.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it. There should
Does
be
it
something
say?
on the bottom of that.
Yeah. Does it
And,
say on the bottom?
It says here. Well, it's going to be at the Route 111 at Route 495, Boxborough,
Yeah,
Massachusetts. Free
yeah.
parking. Free parking. That's always a good deal. Free
Yeah, I'm good with
parking.
that too. Yeah,
And there are
yeah,
going to
yeah.
be comics, comic art, antique and collectibles, toys, Hot Wheels, vinyl records, all sorts of things, including the kids from Zoom. Collectibles
It's called
extravaganza
collectible
from the 1st
extravaganza.
through
Yeah, that's
3rd.
what it's called.
So
Yeah.
we have a couple minutes
cool.
left. The I Am approach has two truths. because the four domains interconnect, your home, your social, your biological, and your IC domain, all of which were incredibly active this weekend. Just think about it. We were in people's homes 50 years ago. They come together in the social domain
40,
of
40,
the
Joe,
Hilton
40.
Parsippany Hotel. They have an IC domain where they are feeling something, they feel connected, which affects, as Donna said, their brain and release oxytocin. Small change is going to have big effects. I'm just going to ask Stuart this, who is our sort of guru in nostalgia. What small change can you recommend to people so that they can access nostalgia in themselves?
To a small change, I guess just to conjure up those great memories of what what made it fun for you, along the way when you were younger, and don't let go of those things. I myself, I'm the same kid I was when I was a kid. You have those elements
We
in
are
you, and
too.
they just
We are too.
and they
We are too.
and never to my own advice is just never let that part of you go.
Yes,
Always
sir.
keep
You,
that fun
boom,
side of
you
you,
said it. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
always keep that wonder
Mm-hmm.
and that curiosity and
Mm-hmm.
everything that goes with
Yeah.
what you grew up as. Don't ever let that innocence go.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. You hit it right
Donna, do
on
you
the
have
head
something you want to
because
add to that?
Yeah, I
go
do.
ahead. Go ahead,
I
Joe.
have to
Go ahead, Joe.
say, adding on to what Stuart said, is when you meet people who are modeling that, they're exempling that, they're being like, you meet the best people with the like great hearts and just like beautiful,
Exactly.
um, square
Mhm.
footage. They're just
Mhm.
amazing. It's like, it just gives, at least I'll speak for myself, it always helps me, like, which maybe also falls into your I am, Dr. Joe, but by being that, like, we are an example of it for others, and they are an example for us. Like,
Yeah.
like, keep
Yeah.
gotta,
So can I add
we gotta
something
keep
to
doing our
that real
best,
quick?
keep moving forward, don't give up,
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
unstoppable,
We're
whatever
gonna.
makes you be happy,
Can I?
love
Can I
as
add?
much as you can the people you love. Just don't give
Go
up.
ahead,
Can I
Kenny.
add? Can I add
Sorry,
one thing
Ken. Yeah,
to
thanks.
that?
I'm done on my rant.
I did, and I'm not speaking for everybody, but I'm just saying, I never thought about myself as a celebrity until this weekend, but it's still, no, and thank you.
Oh, he's frozen. Maura, we'll come to you. What small change would you recommend?
All we did was we were
This is a
TV
small change with a big
show.
effect. Technology.
Technology
That's
is
what
for
we're
sure.
doing now. Wait a minute.
Silence.
Kenny, you're
Kenny is
frozen.
just,
Hold on. Be quiet. Maura, go ahead.
Yes, sir.
I guess the
Huh?
small change would be to not be afraid to let that innocent side out.
Mm.
Right.
Don't be
Right.
afraid of it, because
Yeah,
even
you're
though
right.
we have all,
Correct.
aged over time,
Correct.
all of that stuff is still inside.
No.
And I
You
think
got
it's
20
really
years. You
important
got 50.
to just allow that to be, whether that's,
Yeah.
your
Absolutely.
inner
Yeah.
child or whatever you want to call it. But, it's all of what
Yeah.
Stuart said. Don't ever give up that inquisitive, fun-loving side, no
Mhm.
matter where life takes you.
I think the
Great.
more
The second
joy
truth of the
we,
I am is you control no one, you influence everyone. You get to choose the kind of influence you want to be. Each of you has about 25 seconds to answer this. Donna, why don't you start? What kind of influence do you want to be?
oh, okay. I want to be a power of example of how much joy and unstoppability, and that you can get through anything. I want to make a difference in a good way.
And folks, we're going to be on Facebook Live and we'll finish up with this. What kind of influence you want to be. Larry, thanks for tonight. Folks, we'll see you next week on the Dr. Joe Show.
Oh, sorry guys. I didn't mean to.
Is it just a show? Then go, 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 go. Then go, 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 go. Then go, 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 go.
WATD FM.
Great. Super. So we're still live on Facebook. So let's
Okay. Okay.
just keep going. So Maura, what kind of influence do you want to be?
Hmm.
I think she
Um,
said that already, but go ahead.
No, she didn't. Kenny, be quiet.
I'm
Maura,
sorry.
what kind of influence do you want to
Oh,
be?
yes, sir.
Kenny,
Yes,
put
sir.
yourself on
Sorry.
mute. Put yourself on mute. You're
Well,
talking
I
over
think
people.
that the thing that I've always tried to do, or whatever influence I've tried to have, is to be, welcoming and inclusive to everybody. But I also, when I, walk into a room anywhere, I want it to be, okay, let's have fun.
Mhm.
That's what I like to
Yes.
bring.
Yes.
Love it.
Boom.
Mhm.
Boom.
Kenny, what about you? What kind of influence do you want to be? You control no one, you influence
Pretty
everyone, you
much
get
the
to
same
choose.
as what Mar just said. And then I just want to make people smile or make people be happy.
That's it.
That's been my lifelong goal to go, okay, whatever I do, I want to make people happy.
Yeah.
Now we have a window to like open up and just kind of go, wow, we can just kind of make even more people happy. I just want to make them
Mhm.
smile. That's it. That's
Yeah.
why I run around. That's why you guys are going, where the heck is Kenny?
Kenny,
Yeah,
Kenny, Kenny, get over here.
yeah. Get back over here. You need to sign some autographs and the pictures or whatever. But that's why. But I thought that we needed that too. I was walking around messing with people, and hey, come see us, come see us. Hey, come see us. Hey, come see
Oh,
us.
you were
You.
there. You were shaking hands with everybody on
He
the
was
line.
great marketing.
I was shaking hands and
Great
kissing
marketing.
babies. That's what I was doing. And here's the problem.
Yeah.
Once I learned I was crazy, don't be walking around with something, something strange like the clowns and all the stuff that,
Okay.
we saw. Oh no. That's an open invitation for me to go, oh no. Wait a minute. I,
Stuart,
I
what
need
about
to
you?
go up to you and yeah,
Um,
it's trouble. So you guys, I tried to
Okay,
get
Stuart's
around all
going
of
down.
them,
Okay,
that.
hold on, Kenny. Stuart, you
Yeah.
control no one, you influence everyone. You get to choose the kind of influence you want to be. What about you?
positive influence. The glass
Boom.
is always half full.
Boom.
Just
Kenny, be
optimistic,
quiet.
I'm sorry.
and finding, finding the joy in everything, finding the humor in things, and turning lemons into lemonade.
Yeah.
I'll have to sing you my song. I do have a song about that I used to do in a cabaret show.
Oh,
So,
cool.
It was called The Lemon Step, and I'll sing it for you offline.
So speaking of singing, why don't we just do the right Zoom? Ready? 1,
Are we gonna do
2,
it from the Say You
3.
Wake Up, or are we gonna do it from just right Zoom?
No, just right Zoom.
Okay,
Isn't
ready?
there a delay though on this?
There will
Zoom?
be, but that's
Okay.
okay because
All
there's
right,
so
fine.
many people delayed just watching this anyway.
Okay.
1, 2,
Two.
3. Right Zoom.
Right Zoom.
Double O M. Box 350.
Boston,
Boston,
Mass.
Mass.
02334.
1, 3, 4.
Then it is a-
Yeah. Don't you guys know that? Isn't that happening more
I
and more
don't.
now?
I don't
I
remember.
found
I have to wait for you guys to do it. And
over the
something's
last
up.
couple of years since COVID, and people have been doing so many more Zoom conferences, I've been hearing that this song is just in people's minds.
It is.
They do a
They
Zoom
can't get it
conference
out of their
and
minds, right?
they can't get it out of
Right.
their minds.
Mm-mm.
So,
It's
100%.
so what
stuck.
I'm really hoping is that people do come to Boxborough, that they can see
Oh,
a
they
group
will.
of kids who were strangers 50 years ago, who have become a family
40,
and have stayed a
40,
family
40,
50 years later.
40,
It's incredible.
40, 40.
Kenny, nobody
It
understands what
is.
that means other than you.
Kenny, you
true.
gotta stop. You gotta stop. He's
Okay,
doing an
nobody
advertisement
understands.
right now.
So,
Okay, keep going.
so it is a remarkable honor and privilege to have been part of this, to remain part of
Agreed.
this half a
Yep.
century later. And I hope you guys, the listeners, can pick up on it, that we are as connected, as fluid, as improvisational as ever. When we were
Yes.
up on
I
that
could vouch
stage,
for that.
Mhm.
I could vouch for that. I
We're
saw that
family.
firsthand.
We're
you
family.
saw it.
It's
When we
family.
were,
It is
we were,
family.
we're family.
We're
Absolutely.
family.
When we were up on that
Period.
stage,
Dr. Joe's a
doing-
veritable comedian. He's
well, we
hilarious.
just,
You have to
we
come and
just-
do an open mic with me. You
I
have
would
to.
love
He's
to do
that
that.
good.
Joe.
yeah.
Joe.
Yes, yes.
When we was up on the stage, we didn't
Keep
practice
going.
anything. We just did it. We just did
Yeah.
it.
Yep.
It's true.
Yep.
That's right.
We
We
just
just
did
did
it.
it.
We didn't
We just
rehearse
did
or
it.
anything, and it was
No,
so.
exactly.
Yeah.
And there is a
That's
video
my
of that
off the
point.
Do you guys
someplace.
know?
My,
Do you guys know the
Pardon?
name of the band that backed you up?
Isn't it
Uh,
the Dead
No.
Elvi?
I know Chris
No.
Dead
Palmieri or
Elvi.
something was
Okay.
the lead
Just-
guitarist.
Right.
Right.
Just think about that, guys. The Dead Elvi.
Dead
This
Yeah.
was a
Elvi.
heavy metal band.
Yeah, I get
And
it.
they're
I don't
Isn't that
know.
great?
I don't know the name, but
it
it doesn't matter.
so much.
They're doing
That's my
Zoom,
question
and we
to
are
the rest of you.
just
Does it
we
matter?
are singing it as if we are just heavy metal people, and
I
it
think
just
we need
It
to do
was
a
great.
treatment of the song, a heavy metal treatment, and Kenny will just be talking in the background, and we'll just be
See,
like,
why you gotta blame it
Oh.
on me? I was just doing
"Oh,
what I was doing.
I'm not.
No,
I
no, no, no,
love
no.
you,
I
but
know,
you know I
it's
love
okay.
you. You know I
But
love you."
here's the thing. Here's the thing about that. Once we left the stage, every single band member, I shook their hand or they shook my hand and hugged me and everything. You know, didn't even know them from Adam. What was the
Yeah.
band again? Somebody tell me
Dead
what the band was.
Elvi.
The
The
Dead
Dead
Elvi.
Elvi, which
Dead
was
Elvi. But everyone
was,
there is just so wonderful and
I
full
don't
of
know. I
kindness
don't
and
know.
love. It was wonderful. It was really
Love. There was,
the
and
Dead Elvi
Donna,
was
you just said it.
Kevin's band.
Yeah,
Kevin
I
Clement's
don't know.
band is the Dead
I
Elvi,
don't
but
know.
Kevin
Was
just
he on
wasn't
there?
no, he wasn't on stage when you guys came on. He was
Okay.
doing something else, but that's
It
his
is,
band. They're
guys.
called the Dead Elvi.
That is such a great name. I love
Oh
it.
Yeah.
no, there's
Oh,
the
wow.
video.
I know, I know.
And-
We have
and
to
Donna-
post that. We
Donna
have to
kinda
open
hit it.
our own Facebook page and start posting stuff.
And
and-
will there be a band or bands at the Boxborough event?
Foxborough.
I believe there will be. So we'll see what we can do there, for sure.
All right.
Perhaps we
okay,
can
so
put a little bit of a rehearsal or so together, so it's a little.
I don't think we need to. I think we just need to go impromptu and do what we do.
Well, we have
Now,
time. It'll
I'm
be
open
fun.
to that if you want to do that. You want to do a rehearsal or whatever. But to me, it's natural because what we had, for the most part, this past weekend was love from everybody. Love between us.
Yeah, it's true.
Love
Yeah.
between the people we met, the people that, I don't even know Zoom. So I said, blah, 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 blah. You do remember this? Oh,
But
yeah.
they had a great time anyway, whether they remembered the show or not. They
That-
just
Yeah.
got right
It was
into
like
boom,
that,
boom.
Yes.
It was a safe space to like be a
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
a kid again. It's
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
a very
Oh,
cool
you
environment.
don't even know. Yes, I was a kid again last weekend.
Yeah,
So thank
I'm
you,
still
Stuart, for
here
giving
and,
us that opportunity.
Yeah,
Amazing.
absolutely.
thank you.
And
thank
looking
you.
forward to the next one for sure.
Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely.
Actually, I talked to, I already talked to Stuart, but Nancy wants to do the July thing.
Yeah.
We've covered that. We're
Yeah,
gonna have
we did,
Nancy
right
Bogo
before
as
you-
well, and
And
Bernadette.
And
Bernadette.
Bernadette too. So
What
we're
about
really
Yeah,
Is
excited.
Bernadette, I
Tommy
think Tommy too, right?
interested?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's what I heard. And then
What
who
I
knows?
what I got to do is
Tracy and
when we're done with this, I need to talk to you guys and just get the get a list together of the names, and I got to get them over to Gary.
Yeah.
Okay.
okay,
Okay.
okay.
So folks, this has been really fun. I really appreciate everybody's
Oh,
time.
it's a
Really
blast.
Thank you,
silly.
Joe.
Really silly. Really
Thank
silly.
you, guys.
And what I'll leave you guys with is we just open up the sky to us and we can go wherever we want to go if we no,
Yeah.
and I'm talking from a religious, spiritual kind of thing. God has
Yeah.
just opened up stuff that we didn't know was still there.
Mhm.
Okay.
I
That's
did.
true.
And I
Yeah, we
and-
kind of
and
had
I
an
leave that-
idea. We kind of had an
I'm gonna
idea.
leave it there. I'm gonna leave it there.
All right, that's cool.
Yeah.
Love you.
All right.
Love all
Love
of
you.
you.
Love all of you.
Kenny.
Thank
Thanks
you.
For being
Okay.
a good brother.
Mhm.
Good night, everybody.
Good
Okay.
Thanks a
night.
lot.
I'm
Good
big
night.
brother
Thanks,
right now.
Stuart,
and
for
we
everything.
on-
Thank
And
you.
we on.
thanks,
Thank you,
Dr.
Stuart.
Stonewall. I love you.
Thanks
Be
all
good.
of you.
Love you
Love
guys.
Kenny. Thanks,
Stuart.
Tom.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Good night, all.
the other gentleman, Larry. Bye,
All
guys.
right.
Bye,
Have a
folks.
great
care.
night,
Okay.
everybody.
Stretch the canvas, rush with madness. Is it sadness or just a show that